Now we will see that how to install Android SDK. So to install Android SDK, you have to just download the Android SDK installer from the website called developer.android.com/SDK index.html. And how we do this is that, let us see that. So what we'll do is, once we download that installer, we'll run it and install it, and then we'll set the path for SDK tools. To do this, we'll go to the browser and we'll go to the link provided for Android SDK. So this link and SDK index.html is same as this one. So go to this website and you'll find a link here for Windows, Mac and Linux. Since we are on Windows, we'll take this one. This is a exe, this is a zip, and this is a recommended version. So there is nothing 3264 or anything, you just download this one. So I'm going to click this one and it will start downloading installer R8, and I will say save file, and it will start downloading this file. This is a release 8, it has been started with release 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, but since I have already installed it, I have already downloaded a copy of it, so I'm just stopping this download and going to the location where I have downloaded this one. So let us go and check that my software which I have downloaded already. Here is this installer underscore R16 Windows. This is a version 16, which is fine. You can download the latest one, version 18. Once you download this installer, that is SDK installer, just double click it and it will start running all of this. So this will give you some messages and all, but don't worry, as long as you have downloaded from the right website. Click run. And this will bring welcome to the Android SDK tools setup wizard, and you say next, and it will check the JDK SE version 1.7 has been found, and it will do this. It will say that where do you want to install Android SDK. It will find the directory. You can give any name what you want. Let us give, since I have already installed Android SDK, I will give another directory location called dir/this, and I say next, and this will say Android SDK tools. All of this it will ask, and at the end it will install the Android SDK for you. I am not going to install Android SDK on this one. I just wanted to show you how to install Android SDK. My purpose was so that you can download Android SDK and you can install. Once you say install, it will install Android SDK the way I have installed Android SDK in my computer. So let me show you where I have installed Android SDK. So I have installed, let me see, where did I install the Android SDK? Here is, I have installed. So my location is Isaac Android SDK. Inside this I have installed the Android SDK. So remember, this is the path where I have installed the Android SDK. Same way you have to also install Android SDK. Once you install the Android SDK, you have to set the path for SDK tools. What does it mean? Let me just show you. In this one, you will see that there is Android SDK and platform tools and all those things and tools. Now go into this one, inside platform, and you see what are these. These are all platforms, so don't worry about this. What is important is this directory and this directory to set the class path, to set the path. Platform tools, there are a lot of this, and then there are tools. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to copy this directory, SDK tools, Android SDK tools and platform tools, and put it in the class path. So again go back to control panel, and then we'll set it in the environment variable. We go to system and security, we go to system, and then we go to advanced setting, environment variable, and once you come here, go to the location called path, this one, and click edit. Here you have to mention the complete thing. Now if I have to copy this whole thing, I want to show you what is there in the path, There are a lot of things in my path, but most important thing is that let me find Android SDK. Okay. Here. You see this part, Android SDK platform tools and Android SDK tools. So these two I have put it in the path, right? So this is same thing you have to do in for your computer. Copy both the directory one by one. Let us copy one, platform tools, and go into here and put it at the end after putting semicolon and put it like this. Okay. I'm just going to delete it because I have already put it. And then the same way you have to do it for tools like this one. Copy the whole path and go here and then put semicolon and then put the directory here. So basically idea is that in your path variable both the directory, tools and platform tools should be present for Android SDK to work properly. Now once you are done with that, your SDK is pretty much ready. How to test whether Android SDK is ready or not? You can run either the SDK manager or AVD manager and you should see that screen and window. So you can just try running the Android AVD manager or SDK manager. AVD manager is to create the Android virtual device, that is a emulator. SDK manager is to manage the various SDK component. So once you run this, it will start bringing the Android SDK manager. We will discuss about this component and this window very soon. So just hang around with me. I'm going to close this one and do this. Now once your SDK is installed, the next step is installing the ADT plugin for your Eclipse.